step in and grab your mic. You've just entered the mic drop spotlight, where we rise and speak with authority. Luke 10:19 reminds us we've been given authority, and nothing the enemy throws can stop the fire God lit. From a flicker to a bonfire, I'm Miss Red Speaks, unmuted for the kingdom. To mic drop on the enemy's lies, that is our purpose. But first, being honest with yourself. Now, you guys, this week, I'm bringing to you part 3. If you ever loved a lie. So, just to kind of give you a recap, for those that may be new or the ones that's been sticking with your girl for the last 3 weeks, I want to say thank you. And also to the ones that are new here, welcome. I hope I'm for you, because I'm going to keep it real, raw, and this is my story. Because I'm Miss Red Speaks. So the first week, I talked to you about how I met a guy, and this is when I had my first baby, and basically, was I good enough? Did I mount up? Did I equal to? And it began to break down and start doing things to my self-esteem that led me to number 2. Now, it's something that I do want to really be honest with you about. Spirits are real. Now, at the time, I didn't know that. But now that I have a voice, I'm going to come to you, and I owe myself and you that I have to be honest. So from 1, that spirit led me to 2, and that spirit led me to what we're going to talk to about today. If you ever loved a lie, Miss Red, what does that mean? Well, the first 2 never wanted to get married. In fact, I didn't want to get married. Having a baby the first night that I slept with the first 2 guys just lets you know how fertile I was and just nasty, okay? There was nobody's protection. Thank God for his grace for stupidity, because even though you heard about it in the health class, I wasn't trying to listen to that. So I thank God that I can sit here and I have this story to tell and not another story, because I know for others, that may not be your story. Some people are not even still here to tell their story. I've been unprotected and I dealt with domestic violence. So now, what's 3? Does it really get worse, Miss Red? Oh, it does. That's the reason why I started to tell my story in the first place. Because a lot of people see who I am today, and they always mistake. Why am I bold? Why do I speak up? Why am I who I am? And why do you love God so much? Because of what I've been through. And that I owe him. He's worthy of my praise. So let's get to part 3. So after I went through the first 2 relationships, it was time for your girl to honestly, let's just be truthful. Girl, take a break. Breathe. Don't date for a while. Do exactly what you need to do. Find yourself. And that's what I did. But when you're finding yourself, what are you doing in that time? Because if you're not healing, if you're not being honest, you're just going to meet number 3. So while I'm in my healing process, my time, I'm still going to church, because, that's the place to go. You run to church, because you're broken. You didn't listen. And that's the place where you can run. And even if you want to hide some things, you really still can. You don't have to totally change because you're at a church that wasn't really teaching. If you don't change, you're going to hell. It was Jesus is loving. Just say you're forgiving. Keep your spirits and don't change what you're doing. Oh, it's very trending today. Very trending. Ain't no soul being changed. Ain't no dealing with the in-depth of what you're going through. So then you have people like me, they're on the internet, And we have to come crawling back with our truth and sharing our story. How, thank God, he has a plan. Thank God that he's still seeing beyond our stupidity. And his plans and his ways are not ours. So here I am. I'm in my singleness. I'm feeling good. It's going on 2 years. And at this time frame, I have 2 children now. So honestly, trying to date was really scary. And then what I went through previous from domestic violence, my nerves, my self-esteem, all of that was gone. I lost who I was. At this moment in time, all I knew and all I accepted was a diaper bag, baby, child support paperwork, working, and I'm a single mom. I'm nobody's girlfriend. I was probably only good enough to just lay on my back at the time, and that got tired. 2 kids, I think I've had enough. So I'm out and about. And of course, you meet friends and they're like, come on, like, all you doing is being a stay-at-home mom. It's time to get out. So I get out. I go. Y'all, this wearing the lipstick and the glasses, none of that was going on at the time. I was happy to have on a clean t-shirt and a pair of blue jeans to even go out. Now, that upsetting, know how to get down in the club, that was still in me because I hadn't dealt with it. I just put a lid over it. So when I went out that night, I'm partying. I'm getting in the groove. And guess what? That spirit that was dwelling in him seen me and walked right over. All of that, girl, is singleness. All of that, heal, take your time, went out the window. None of that was in place when I'm standing in front of a man that I'm like, oh, another delicious one. He didn't look like number one. He didn't look like number 2. He didn't act like number 1. He didn't act like number 2. We tend to start trying to wrap things up and call it blessed because it's different. Spirits look the same, baby. They just in a different body. So what happened? Well, immediately we started dating. And I thought, ooh, he know what he want. He is really pursuing me. Now, I see this even in today's time when people run and they meet somebody. It's the first, what they call it, the honeymoon stage. Oh my gosh, he's calling me. I'm feeling him. I'm in love. And I was immediately in love because he didn't hit me. I was immediately in love because he didn't talk down to me. He didn't do the things that I was used to. He wasn't running back trying to tear down my self-esteem or my character, but he was hiding a deeper lie. So it got to the point where I wanted him to spend a night, and he couldn't. It was always, I will make time for you early in the morning, throughout the day, but it was a certain time before it was too late at night that he needed to leave. Now, at the time, I wasn't your brightest crayon in the crayon box, but I knew something's not adding up. So I went to, I call them my very wise friends that I lived around, and I said, I want to ask you something. I met this guy and he comes over. He does spend time. Anytime I want to see him, he's available, but it's the late at night. And I know what y'all are already thinking. Girl, he's married. Well, hold on before you jump there. How many of you, including myself, can see that and ignore that? This is why I said be honest with yourself. So, although I thought I needed to look for an excuse to try to find a way to bend the reality, bend what I was noticing, bend what could possibly be, because his actions wasn't lining up with my thoughts. Surely he's telling the truth. So My neighbor was like, well, if he's taking this time and doing everything, maybe he just want to be respectful. Maybe he don't want to spend a night. Girl, please, he's sleeping with me. What you mean? He don't want to spend a night. Being respectful. I said, oh, okay. So then I started asking him, ladies and gentlemen, do not ask the person you're dating if something's off. They're not going to tell you the truth. Hello. That's the point. Sit back, wait, investigate, and pay attention to those flags. Honey, I call them flares. So time went on. He came over one evening and he's over, and I said, you know what? I'm going to catch him off guard. I said, hey, babe, can I see your driver's license? And he was like, well, yeah, sure. So I looked at his driver's license, and immediately, y'all, he started distracting me. I had a plan. I wanted the driver's license so I could get the address because I was going to pop up. Not that crazy, but I was going to pop up because that was just the investigation in me. I wanted to see because something wasn't adding up. Women, you know how we do. We are the best investigators on earth. Okay? So he kept distracting me. I'll never forget this moment. Hey, babe, you thirsty? Hey, babe. First of all, don't start mentioning snacks and stuff like that to me. You know I like to eat. So then quickly I'm on another conversation. In the midst, he was like, hey, babe, I gave you my license. Give them back to me. And I was like, oh, here you go. Not thinking or aware that I didn't even complete my mission. So, you know, what that didn't work out. So it continued. The thoughts continued. The wondering continued. I wasn't sure. So then he come over one night, and I purposely made sure I kissed his collar. Well, didn't say anything. In fact, he hadn't noticed until he got up, looked in the mirror, and was straightening up himself and seen a mark. Oh, can I use your washing machine? And I stood in the kitchen. What you need to use my washing machine for? Oh, I don't like to be dirty. I don't like a spot on my shirt. I said, oh, no. You are going home to another woman. Babe, why would you say such things? I want to be with you. Now, I know y'all thinking now, Miss Red, man number one, man number two, why are you falling for man number three? Because I never got rid of the spirits from man number one or man number two. By this time, it's so easy to believe the spirits that came from the previous man to make number three look to whatever he was saying, because he wasn't yelling at me. He wasn't putting his hands on me. He wasn't degrading me. So it was so easy to trust, although I was already thinking something was off. So I'm like, come on, girl. If you want a man, you got to stop tripping. You know, I'm having this private conversation with myself while he is telling me, come on, babe. I don't want to, it's a white shirt. If I don't get the stain out, and it all made sense. Come up with crafty ideas, Mr. If I ever loved a lie. And that's what I was doing. I was deep in it. I was in love with the lie that started from day one. So then I let it go. It wasn't until I got ready to start school. It's time for me to go back to college. It's time for me to pursue something for myself. I had it all lined up. And then I found out I was pregnant. I don't know why. It didn't happen night one. And not night one that I met him. This time I tried to, you know how when we don't make the same mistake several times, we'll kick it out a few months. Well, if he wait a month, he loved me, or that stupid 90-day rule that don't belong in the Bible. Yeah, so I thought, you know what? He's waiting longer. He really loved me. Girl, fool, He's sleeping with somebody else. He don't need your cookies right now. He's got a whole nother bakery. So by the time I did start giving up my peanut butter cookies, because that's just what I love, I started giving them up to him. I got pregnant. Fertile. What in the world? So then I'm having all of these flashbacks from man number one, man number two. But when I told him, he was actually excited. So then that masked the lie even more. How can a man live a double life? How can a man look you straight in the face? And not only a man, women do it too. Women will have a whole life going on and will look a man straight in the eyes and tell them, I promise you, you're the only one. Y'all, this man even went as far as putting his hand on the Bible, promising me that he wasn't married, promising me that I was the only one. So it's not that I was just gullible. It's not that I was just acting as if I didn't know no better, or I just wanted to be in some statistics of who can be the baby mama with the most babies, single mom with the most babies. No, I had a spiritual battle going on that I didn't even understand. And I had a man who knew how to do all the works because of the spirits that were in him. Because it wasn't just his wife he was sleeping with. It was other women, including me. So ladies, stop thinking that you are the only one when a man can lie from the jump. Don't. Even just breaking it off don't mean that you let go of the situation. You got a whole slew of souls that you got to deal with. So I'll never forget when I told him, and he was excited. And here come that, oh my goodness, we're going to have a baby. And I already love your other two kids. I've been there and all of this. And I've been seeing all of that. So I was able to, not really see the disaster because of all of the words that he was already putting out there. Until it was the night for me to start school. My mom had came and got the two younger ones to babysit so that I could go to school. And I'll never forget. It was sunny outside. At that window, you guys, me looking out the window, Lord, he was available for me to talk to freely. The phone rang. And it's actually my best friend calling me. And I remember, well, let me back up because I want to give you some background to this. He would always have a routine. The routine was to call me when he was at work, call me on his lunch break, and your friends, your girlfriends call in between. So I didn't receive the breakfast phone call, and I thought, well, he's just busy, no big deal. Well, he ended up calling on his break, but he was breaking in tone. Like his voice was very shattering. Well, my best friend beep in. And I clicked over because when your homegirl calling you, it's like, well, hold on. I don't know what you got going on, but hold on. I clicked over to my best friend and I said, hey. And she said, sis, he's married. And I remember standing there with the phone in my hand. And it was like a blow to the gut. Because not only did I think this 6 months ago, I'm pregnant now, trying to start my career, thinking that everything was going to move in the right direction. He's what? He's married, sis. His wife just called my phone. In fact, my husband picked up and she said these words, your wife is sleeping with my husband. And my husband said, excuse me. So you see how the spirit don't matter what confusion it caused. It don't care what it's breaking up. She didn't even ask questions. She just immediately assumed what it was. Back in the day, now young people, if y'all watching, we used to three-way call on a cordless phone. So that's how this happened. My best friend called him because he wasn't picking up my call one day. So that's another background content. That's how how she got her phone number. So when she explained to me that her husband was like addressing her, and then she mentioned the names, my best friend said, no, that is my best friend's boyfriend. So that's when she was letting me know. So when I clicked over and I merged the call, that's when I began to confront. Well, at that time, that's why he was with a shattering voice, because the wife had told him that morning, I'm going to contact her. I'm done. But the thing was, I wasn't the only one. She had to find out who was he calling the most. So that builds into a whole nother thing. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Even falling in love with a lie, he came to my doorstep, dropped down on his knees like it might have been a Boys to Men, I'm on bending knees video. And we were shooting live that day. And he started pleading in front of my neighbors. I will never forget my neighbor peeking out. And she said, girl, don't do it. You just started school. And I thought, oh, I don't need to hear common sense right now. I'm angry. And he just was crying and begging and just pleading. I promise you, I was leaving her. We are in the midst of a divorce. That's not who I want to be with. I want to be with you. We have a family on the way. So you don't set all of this up, played on my emotion. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this. There's no way I'm going to be able to move forward. And then he was told, if you really love that woman, show her. And his next move and the next steps that he did only led to a disaster that continued on. So I'm going to leave you there. But I want to bring it all in. If you ever loved a lie, then you know exactly where I'm coming from. Now, with number one, with number two, and number three, I have forgiven them. I had to. The last one was hard. It was very hard because it became a marriage for me. My very first marriage. I've never been married before. Something that every little girl looks forward to. Being walked down the aisle, being in her pretty white dress, which that's nothing but a lie. I should have had on black, honey, to be honest with you. Shouldn't have had on white. But I remember walking down the aisle and my daddy was walking with me. And I was boo-hooing because it was a special day for me. Only to find out that what I ignored, what I was trying to paint over and make everybody else think that it was a good thing, was going to cost me the next 9 years of my life. That broke me worse than any man putting their hands on me. Because mental abuse to me is the worst. No abuse is acceptable. But to hit me, the pain went away. But to tear at my mind, it calls for overthinking to go into overdrive. It became something that I dressed up in every day. My mental was gone. every spirit, and even the ones that they went out to recruit to come back to join with me, all was manifesting and sitting and living inside of me throughout that marriage, and even after, until I forgave, until I let go. So you have got to hear before I was unmuted. And I do want to remind you, more of the details will be in the book. And I want to insert this. I'm not doing this video to sell the book, because I'm going to tell you right now, not everybody's for me. I don't even go advertising books that I've already written. But this is my walk. This is my step. And I'm doing little clips of videos of telling my story. But I'm putting it in a book because of the ideal I've had before there was even a platform of this such. So I'm going to continue to walk anything out. I know it's people out there pushing things to try to sell, but this is going to open up to what I'm about to tell you. So in September, I am going to start something that's going to be spiritual surgery. And it's going to be only a limit space, but I want you to stay tuned for details on all of my platforms. I want you to stay with the subscribe button on YouTube, hitting the notification bell on YouTube. Make sure you're following me on Facebook, and make sure that you have those notifications as well, and also on TikTok and Instagram, because I'm going to start putting the information out there. What you will not do and what you cannot do. Do not personally ask me when, what, where, and how. It will be on the social media site for you to know the instructions. And the reason why I'm doing this is because if we don't start now paying attention and doing what's happening, then you're just going to jump in just to hear me talk. The work starts now. If you cannot follow instructions and hitting the notification bell and being here, then I don't know what your intentions is, because I don't coddle. This is not a rehabilitation. I'm not here to say, you got this, and not tell you what you need to do and what I had to do. I'm not being transparent to just put me out there. Testimony is somebody else's survivor guide. Testimony is helping others understand, I don't care what decision you made. God got a plan for you. And it's not to hurt you. It's to prosper you. And the reason why you can sit here and be willing to watch Miss Red is because you're going to be able to relate. You're going to be able to understand. And you're going to be able to say, I'm ready to be from a flicker to a bonfire. I'm ready to unmute for the kingdom. But what does that look like? And that's what will begin in September. How can you become unmuted in your situation? And so I want to close out, and I want to say this. This space is not for those where this is for the too much for some. You know, have you ever been around somebody, you're too much, I'm not for you. This is for the battle tested, true field, still standing, unmuted warriors, called, not convenient, surrendered, and not performative. I'm not here to get the famous award for if I was able to speak correctly. This is truth, honey. You're going to hear slang. You're going to hear truth. You're going to hear sass. You're going to hear boldness. Because when I was going through the hell, I wasn't performing. I was surviving. I love you guys. And I thank you for taking the time out each week to come and listen to me. So do me a favor. I want you to know that Miss Red Speaks is still here, unmuted for the kingdom. The bonfire is still burning, and I'm ready to speak to you, share with you. So next week, you guys, I'm going to come here and I'm going to open up for questions. So if you're here today, I want you to subscribe and I want you to hit that notification bell, because now you get to come and ask me questions from week 1, week 2, and today. And let's say that you're out of town, you're busy, you don't know you're going to be available. Do me a favor. Email me at missredspeaks@gmail.com. Or if you're bold and you don't care who reads your question, drop it in the comment section. And if somebody come being ugly, boo, that's just because they really want to know the answer too. So come with your questions. Come ready. There's nothing that you can ask me that's going to offend me. Ask away, because I'm going to tell you, you won't know if I'm honest. You won't know if my fruit is real if you don't test it. If you don't see it. Anybody can get on a mic and speak. Anybody can put on a pair of red glasses. But try me, because I'm the real Miss Red Speaks.